All right, some people will catch this later, so I might as well start now. What's happening, everybody? You already know what it is. Me and Jay Washington. I don't feel like doing all the Resident Supervillain and all that other stuff. Um, if you read the title of this video before you clicked in, it has been a very, very tiring 72 hours. Not even just trying, but very tiring. Um, from the Amy Cooper in Central Park incident to Christian Cooper, no relations, over to the murder of George Floyd and to various situations that are popping up seemingly by the hour. It is so fucking tiring. And I think it's more tiring as a black man. I'm not on here as the resident supervillain. I'm not on here as the urban gladiator. I'm not on here as a personality. I'm on here as somebody who really fucking needed to talk and vent. I said this earlier on my social media. If you follow me, I'm angry, I'm enraged, and I'm also scared because every fucking day now it is something new, and then every fucking day there are people who are trying to justify this shit. People keep telling black people stop bringing race in this shit. People keep telling black people to, oh, we're blowing shit out of proportion, and we're just looking for something to be fucking upset about. We're just trying to find racism in something when that's not the fucking case. You had a white woman call the police on a black man, literally knowing he is doing nothing but standing there telling you to put your dog on a leash and don't come near me, and literally saying that. And this bitch is on the phone saying an African-American man is threatening me and enhancing her voice the entire time so she can make it seem like her life is in danger, only because she knows that the fucking police will come and 9.5 times out of 10 shoot this man on sight. And some people will be like, well, Jay, how the fuck do you know that that's going to happen? How do you know that the police will shoot him on sight? Because they were willing to shoot a 12-year-old boy in Cleveland with a toy gun that has the orange tip on it. Because they're willing to shoot a black man because he's just sitting there and they feel he's a threat. Because they're willing to kill a black man as a quote-unquote suspect without letting him go through the proper channels of what the justice system is supposed to fucking be. I'm fucking tired of it, man. And I can keep yelling that all day. I can keep screaming that all day. I can be fearful for not just my life, but my 16-year-old son's life, my 6-year-old daughter's life. I could be all day. So Jay, what are you supposed to do? What do you think? I mean, clearly what's happening in Minneapolis is something that needs to happen all around, because people are tired of it. And yes, it is nice to see multiple races showing up and showing out. It is nice to see people finally getting off their asses and saying, instead of commenting how much you're appalled, how much you're disgusted, actually showing it. It's fucking ridiculous. I get people, pardon my squeaky ass chair, I gotta get a new one. I get people who tell me, oh, well, clearly you weren't living that, clearly you're not living that bad a life because you get to do all this shit on the internet. You get to go to all these Comic-Cons, these premieres, and these TV shows, and you get to be on TV, and you get to be in movies, you get to do all this. That don't mean shit, because at the end of the day, I'm still a black man who still is busting his ass just for a level of recognition, who is busting his ass just to make a way for his kids. And yes, my race does play a factor. Why? Because for one, as an actor, as a black actor, you 9 times out of 10 got to go in for specific typecasted roles. Because why? Because they don't know your talent, or to try to know your talent. They already said, here, somebody else is going to do this. You just got to fall in place. You either want to play a thug, a best, or some stupid shit that is seen as to be only as a black person. As a stand-up comedian, I'm thought to only talk about hood shit and black shit. As a nerd personality, I'm expected to be cool with it being one black guy or one black girl at a time, when there are multiple black men and women who can do this as well as I do, if not better. So Yes, my race is at the forefront of every fucking thing. I'm tired of people stop saying, oh, just why do we have to look at race? We're only one race, the human race. You're a fucking liar if you say that. If you come at me with that I don't see color bullshit, I come at you as you're a fucking liar. Because color is in everything. If you don't see color, like everybody always says, how do you stop at a traffic light? If you don't see color, how do you know how to coordinate your clothing? I'm always seen as a black man before anything else. And because of my size, granted, I lost 100, almost 190, 200 pounds from the weight I had, but I'm more, depth defined now and more of a muscular presence, and I'm still considered an even bigger threat just off that alone. But when anybody who knows me, who knows Jay, who's been around Jay, who knows my life, who knows how I am in person, will tell you, unless you piss him off, which is very hard to do, he is nothing like that. He will go to bat for you in a heartbeat, and I do all the time. I'm tired of it. I just had a white comic out here that I know, and I thought I considered him a friend. And I learned that we give that title and that branding to too many people, all willy-nilly, for lack of better words. And this guy was like, yo, when it comes to the murderers who killed George Floyd in Minneapolis, this shouldn't be about race. This should just be about putting murderers away in jail. And there have been numerous black people telling him, yo, this is definitely about race. What the fuck are you talking about? No, it's not, because we got to deal with putting them in jail as murderers, then we'll deal with racism. Yo, do you realize how tone deaf you sound? Also, the fact that Winston and I have said this on Blurs in the Hood, and if a bunch of black people are telling you something that they have experienced that you will never experience, shut the fuck up and listen. I am grateful in life for all of the friends I have, for all the friends I have of multi-races, multiple nationalities, just a multitude of people. I am grateful for them. I am grateful for those, especially my white friends, who can acknowledge the bullshit, who speak out on the bullshit, and who act to try to change the bullshit, who will never admonish what we go through. When we tell you something, we're telling you from experience. I had to put up the picture to dude about the dude, Dylan Roof, first and foremost. And then the other dude, I can't remember what he did, but he killed 23 people. And both of them were literally gingerly escorted out. Remember, Dylan Roof was taken to Burger King after he killed 9 black people in the church solely because they were black. The other dude was just gingerly gone away to, I think, prison or jail. IMAX. Yes, it is Mr. J. Washington on Cash App. Yes, it is. Please, if you want to send a donation, by all means, I'm grateful for it. So thank you. It is definitely Mr. J. Washington. But when you had Eric Gardner, a man who was selling cigarettes, and George Floyd, a man who was accused of forgery with a fake $10 bill, accused, wasn't even no guaranteed proof. He was accused. And then you have these police officers who see this as race, who see this by race, because you cannot tell me that these situations aren't predicated by race. You cannot tell me that these situations don't trouble us every single day. You can't tell me that I don't walk out my front fucking door living in fear. You can't tell me that I would rather fucking deal with a virus than have to deal with some white people because they've already fucking judged me. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated. I'm sorry. I'm so angry. I'm so fucking angry. I don't know if I have enough tears to cry. Last week, I had to deal with a white chick who tried to demean and downplay the death of my friend. For those who know, Shag Gaspard, former member of Crime Time in the WWE, was a good friend of mine. And we lost him last week. Not due to anything dumb, but because nature does what it does. And this bitch had the audacity, this white bitch had the audacity to say, I don't feel sorry for stupid people who are going to the ocean in the middle of a pandemic. Bitch, the ocean and the beaches are open. You can go swimming. So he did nothing wrong. The ocean did what it does. But to downplay and demean him, I wanted to slap this bitch. But again, my anger, I had to quell that. I could have been like, yo, okay, that's how you feel. I'm finna show you how people think about that and put an address out there. I could have done all that. But again, I had to say, no, let me bring it down. Let me be a level head. And then today, to see that, with him saying it's not about race. I even got upset at the Amy Cooper situation. Winston and I talked about it again yesterday. Also yesterday, the fact that people literally, and again, you know me, you know how I am. You know, I'm going to be about my culture. I'm going to be about my community, but I rock with everybody. I saw nothing but I saw a lot of white people, not all white people. I saw a lot of white people about that Amy Cooper situation was like, well, man, what about the dog? Man, I'm just glad. The only thing I could think about the whole time was the dog. All I kept was worrying about was the dog because he was holding the dog on a leash. And albeit just terrible what the dog was going through, at the end of the day, had the police come, that dog would have been all right. The dog would have lived. And we're talking about the NYPD. I need people to stop trying to be oblivious. Or if you're going to play oblivious, don't do it. Just tell us how you really feel. If you tell me I intimidate you because of my being, if you tell me that my existence threatens you and it gets your insecurities, if you tell me that, then I know where you stand. I know how you feel. And guess what? I know not to fuck with you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of reading in the news that people are like a 68-year-old woman and her son were tackled off suspicion of shoplifting and were subdued forcefully. Suspicion of shoplifting. Not even proof. You can't tell me there isn't a race thing in this. Has this been around all the time? Yes. Have black people been constantly trying to tell you for the longest this shit has never stopped? Yes. The only difference is it is being filmed for you to see now. It is being readily available to you. I don't know. I'm shaking. I'm so frustrated. I wish there was more I could do. Then it got to the point where also when it comes to these cops and the racist situations that have happened in this country over the past 3.5 years, you know where it falls from. And if you're a supporter of it, I don't give a shit. It falls on the orange fuck muppet's head. I refuse to call it by name. Why? Because situations like Charleston, there were very fine people on both sides. There's no such thing as fine people marching with Nazis. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Him telling cops, don't be gentle on suspects. Him calling NFL players who kneeled in protest of police brutality because it wasn't on the flag and it wasn't disrespectful to the troops. Because why? The troops have openly said, active and veterans have said that it was not a disrespect to them. As a matter of fact, there was a veteran who told Colin Kaepernick to kneel as opposed to just sitting. Sitting was disrespectful. Kneeling is actually a respect thing. It's why if you're a Christian like myself, you said you kneel before God. You kneel before the cross. You have that dude who consistently pushes hate and just anger and divisiveness throughout everything he says. But then you get people who go, well, Jay, he got black people who support him. You know what? There are coons and self-hating black people, just like there are self-hating white people, self-hating Latinos. It is consistent. So do not tell me because I see this dumb bitch Candace Owens sucking his dick because she wants to sit there and be cool because I got Ben Carson's dumb ass back there or something like that, that all of a sudden, because of those people, we're supposed to just say, oh, well, those black people, so he may not be all that bad. Fuck you. When people were like, oh, well, he hired Omarosa, he can't be racist. Why would a racist hire people? I'm sorry. Did you not understand what slavery was? It was white men and women making black men and women work for them. The difference is they weren't paying them. Only difference. I am frustrated. I am tired of this. I don't even want to go to the whole it's 2020 shit. Because I see a lot of people doing that. It's 2020. Why is this still happening? And things like that. Thank you, fanboy Cantina. Please, from the bottom of my heart, I will not, believe me, I'm not stopping anything. People like, it's 2020. I can't believe this is happening. This shit has happened each and every day, damn near. It is not hard to go Google search something that has happened that is race-based against Black people. And again, by no means, by no stretch of the imagination, am I ever saying that it does not happen to white other people. I'm saying it's been happening to us way longer. And it has not stopped. It's not slowed down. It's not even hidden itself. I'm not saying it at all. I hate when people say, well, what about Black on Black crime? First of all, that's not a thing. You know why? Because no one ever goes, what about white on white crime? What about Asian on Asian crime? What about Latinx on Latinx crime? Latinx crime? There's no such thing. Also, you are going to kill, if you're going to do things like that, people who are in the closest proximity to you. And so, yes, Black people do kill Black people, unfortunately. But also, you know what the biggest fucking thing is between police killing unarmed Black people and Black people killing unarmed Black people? Is that when a Black person kills an unarmed Black person, that motherfucker goes to jail. There is no question. There is no, let us research this. You get them, they go to jail, and they are charged instantly and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Now, I know where a lot of this shit comes from. I do know why is it police don't get immediately arrested, because it's the police officers union, which ain't shit. Yes, their union protects them from being, quote unquote, initially arrested. Their union protects them from just being fired. Thank you, Clear the Lord. I appreciate you so much, man. I just got to keep speaking on this. Their union protects them. So yeah, I get that. And yeah, you know, this country is iffy on unions. We need them, we don't. They do get things at one point, then they just sit around on their asses, they don't. Why can I say that? Because I'm part of the Screen Actors Guild. I'm part of the Screen Actors Guild. It fucking upsets me. There's a statement that is always when they have the color for the protection. Now, I know, again, when it comes to, I just can't remember his name because it just happened, the young man who was killed alive in Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago. There was a Black cop laughing. But again, it goes back to what I was saying. There are self-hating Black people. So that does not change the racism involved. It does not change that. I know. It's like, yo, Jay, but you talk all this nerd shit. You talk all this nerd shit. So of course you can't see racism. You can't see racism when it comes to comic books and when it comes to comic book movies and TV shows. But clearly you don't know what a lot of them were predicated on. Captain America started out fighting Hitler. Okay, the X-Men were created as analogies of what minorities were going through in America at the time, and Professor X and Magneto based off of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I'm also tired of when we're seeing Black people murdered on video, assaulted on video, that literally, it never fails. There's a white person that's going, well, we don't know what happened before the video started. People literally tried to use that argument to say that about Ahmaud Arbery, the man who was killed in Georgia while jogging. We don't know what happened before the video started. The video started that we saw with these motherfuckers running up on him. So what are you saying? Don't do that shit. Stop telling me we don't know all the facts when the facts are clear as day. That was another thing. The dude, I told y'all about the comic that was like, we don't have all the facts when it comes to George Floyd's murder, that it was race involved. We do. We do. The dude also, the cop, former cop, has a record of complaints. And then let's not mention the new photo that has come out, the newer photos, plural. One, it's not just him, it's him with his knee on his neck, one, but there's two other cops behind, along with them, who you don't see behind a car. Then there's the other one, there's a video, I'm sorry, it's not a photo, of them dragging him out of his car, him not resisting at all, him going along with them. And so that's another thing that keeps happening. You keep hearing police do this dumbass stop resisting, when people aren't. Because they try to utilize that as a means to, as long as I'm saying stop resisting, I can justify the extra force that I'm using. Again, also, I'm sorry, not again. Also, Jay, do you hate police officers? No. Why? Close friends and family members are cops. And yes, they are good ones. And I know that goes that, well, a few good apples spoil a bunch. I'm not even going to say a few. Few rotten apples. It's not a few. It's a fucking lot. There are less good cops than there are bad cops. There are way more bad cops. There are way more men and women who, for lack of better words, were bitches in high school and grammar school. And now because they have a badge and a gun, they think they can do what they want. They think they can do what they want. Some people will say, well, Jay, protesting and destroying police stations and subsequently rioting in the streets, what will that solve? What will that do? If you have people just getting upset at the law enforcement, won't that eventually enact martial law and have them bring in the military? Potentially, yes. But guess what? It also shows that people won't take this shit no more. It's funny how all those people who protested about not wanting to wear a fucking mask, not wanting to be in the midst of a stay-at-home order, which never said you could not leave your house. It just said if you had to go anywhere, make sure it's for essentials. Yeah, I get it. I am one person who's like, yo, I get the whole economy situation. People got bills. I understand. I get that. However, it wasn't saying you can't go outside. It wasn't saying you can't you can't get a haircut and you can't go to a hair salon. Okay. But you can go outside, you can live your life and go just basically do the basic things you need to do. But yet they protested with assault rifles, bringing the American flag, the Don't Tread on Me flag, the Confederate flag, and the Nazi flag, when none of this was involving any country outside the USA. None of this was involving any of those things. But it's funny how the Nazi flag, the Don't Tread on Me, and the Confederate flag have to make an appearance. For what? This isn't a Civil War thing unless you want to make it that. This isn't a civil rights thing. This is a public health thing. And I bring that up. They were on the Capitol steps. They stormed the Capitol of Michigan with the guns and everything. And police officers stood there and took it. And somebody said, why the police didn't act on them? Why didn't police officers show force to them? Because if they weren't on the job that day and weren't on duty, they'd be right out there with these motherfuckers. That's exactly why. But yet, anytime people protest, I've seen it from the Ferguson shit with the Mike Brown situation, Eric Garner. There's always some reason, some way that the police managed to have it escalate that all of a sudden, it just all of a sudden got out of control. The tear gas needs to be thrown in. Excuse me, not purple. I saw purple minded on there in the comments, excuse me. Plastic bullets, all these things. Come on now. Gotta be real. I get upset because again, you go back to the whole protest of the quarantine situation. You motherfuckers have never been inconvenienced before in your life. You've never been told no. You're talking about its oppression. You're talking about its slavery. You don't know what slavery is. You don't know what oppression really is. You're told you can't get a haircut. You can't go to Supercuts. You can't go to Bo-Ricks. You're told you can't go to Sally's salon down the street. But imagine being told you can't walk on this street because you're a nigger. You can't drink from this fountain because you're a nigger. You're not supposed to be here in general because you're a nigger. That's oppression. You want to know what slavery is? If I don't pick the cotton right, I'm whipped. If I drop an egg, I'm whipped. If I look the wrong way because I'm feeling a certain way, I'm whipped. I don't own my life. My family can be taken from me at a moment's notice because guess what? You just feel like having a fucking chuckle. That's slavery. You're not going through any of that shit. But yet, you want to make it seem like you are. It's fucking tiresome. And again, people will try to say, oh, well, it's come to a head. It's all a thing. It's people's rights being taken away. They're being violated constitutionally. Yo, there's nothing being violated constitutionally about a health pandemic telling you to stay at home. Not a fucking thing. Not a thing. But let me get back on the reason I'm here. I'll be honest with y'all. If I was to go on the street right now. If I was going in the street, and let's just say I'm walking to get an exercise walk, and I'm murdered by the police, you know what happens? Somebody tries to find an old picture. Somebody tries to find an old tweet. Somebody tries to say, well, Jay was arrested for this when he was a teenager. That has nothing to do with today. Tired of that shit also. Stop making the victim the criminal. This shit consistently is fucking happening. Doesn't matter what a person did in their past. Let me tell you something. I'm tired of seeing people say, well, if they wouldn't have committed a crime, they'd still be alive. I don't think people understand, or they do, and they just don't want to act on it. I don't think people understand how crimes work. Unless it is a murder or even multiple murders, which are capital cases. Not a single crime warrants an automatic death sentence or a death sentence in general. Not one. Not selling bootleg cigarette CDs, not jogging, not potential forgery of a $10 bill. None of them warrant a death sentence. None. But I know there's a bunch of racists out there. I know there's a bunch of people that's going to watch this that's going to be like, you nigger, you don't know what you're talking about. I know there's a bunch of people who go on social media and do it and think that's what it is. Well, if that be the case, then Dylan Roof should have been shot in his motherfucking skull the moment they brought him out. If that's the case, the dudes that were protesting, that were having their guns drawn and pulling at their guns at the police at the fucking Capitol should have been shot on sight. Since you want to tell me something, because you can't. I'm tired of it. And I'm not the only one. I don't have the biggest platform in the world. I know it. I'm just a dude that a lot of people listen to because a lot of people like what I have to say. A lot of people rock with me, and I'm grateful for it. I am. So much am. But this shit is ridiculous. I will speak on it till I have my last dying breath. I will do whatever I can to stop this shit. And I don't know what there is to do. That's the sad part. Marching, protesting, it's okay. All right, cool, we did it. But then what? Racism is in this country's DNA. This country was founded on racism, predicated on racism. You want to know how racist this country is when there's a white person who always says, oh, well, if you don't like this country, you can leave. I'm born here just as much as you do, so I have just as much right to be here. I don't have to like the situations. Motherfuckers are homeless. They just can't leave being homeless. I just can't leave living in the United States. Fucking tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it. It really fucking annoys me. I swear to God, it does. I just don't get it. I don't. I know that it's a pipe dream that every single one of us get along and every single one of us see people for being people. I get it. And I get that there are people that are going to hate us. And by us, I mean black people. And by us, I mean brown people. Like, I mean, people that hate white people. They're, things like that. I get it. But that's not a fucking thing, man. I need people to understand what the fuck is happening. I really do. This shit is ridiculous. This shit is terrifying. Yo, Evo, you just brought a point. You got Doja Cat, Coon, and then you got racists on Twitter going at John Boyega. John Boyega literally said, I hate racist. I fucking hate racist. That is what John Boyega said on Twitter. And you have racists in his comments mad trying to all lives matter racism. How does that work? I love and hate social media because of that. Social media has opened up a door to allow people to communicate with people who they never would communicate with before. Social media has become this vehicle where we can reach the masses from wherever we are, from just what's in the palm of our hands. But also, it's given a lot of people a voice who shouldn't have one. It's given a lot of people a voice shrouded in anonymity. Because you know why? People don't have to worry about that ass whooping. Back in the day, if you talk shit to somebody, you have to deal with the repercussions of your actions. Now you have people who are like, I'm gonna talk shit to you, and you can't do nothing because you probably can't find out who I am because I have a fake profile. I don't use my profile picture, and I'm good. I don't think people realize if somebody really wanted to take time to find out who you are, IP addresses are a motherfucker. And I really doubt that every single one of you all who talk shit, and I'm not saying the people watching me right now, I'm just using it as a general statement. Every single one that's watching this, right? Every single one of you all who does that talking shit don't know how to shroud your IP address. You more than likely aren't using a VPN. So what? So what? I literally am at the point. Like I said, it's been a very trying 72 hours. I just want to break down and cry and do nothing. I was going to talk about this yesterday. I was going to have my girl Nikki Lynette on Blurs in the Hood, and Nikki's a good friend of mine from back in Chicago. She's an artist. She has a play that's one woman show. Excuse me, that's debuting at the Steppenwolf, which is a very popular theater in Chicago. And Nikki has been vocal about mental health awareness, and I say that because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you wonder why a lot of people are depressed, yeah, the quarantine is one thing. The virus situation is one thing. I get it. With people with you can't go anywhere, you can't be around people. I get that. I totally get that. Now imagine dealing with that, and then every time you go out the door, you have to worry if that's your last time coming out the door. Because you'll never come back to your house. Not due to the hand of somebody you know or somebody who looks like you. But somebody who has already made up in their mind that because you exist and the color of your skin is what it is, you are a threat to their existence, to their being. Do you understand how depression works? It's been no secret that I suffer from depression and anxiety. Can you imagine mentally what I've been going through? And not just myself, many others who aren't even vocal about it. And can you imagine it's not just been these past 3-4 months? Can you imagine having that weight on you mentally every fucking day since the day you gain consciousness and understand about it? It's a real thing. I could sit here, like I said, I could sit here and I can vent all day. I can sit here and I can make this live stream and be angry as fuck. I can sit here and do all of this, and it potentially could change nothing. I know it. I know it. But I'm at a crossroads in a sense. This is the realest shit ever. Plus, in a state where you have to wear a mask. I've argued with so many people up and down about this shit. When they were talking about mandating masks because of everyone else's health, I literally said, I get it. I understand that. I understand what the way the virus is spread and transmitted and whatnot. I get that. But I'm a black man in a mask. I'm already a black man. I don't need that extra problem. Then somebody tried to tell me, well, there won't be a problem, Jay, because they'll understand why you have the mask on. And then I had to redirect them to the 3 men in a Walmart or Walgreens or a CVS who were wearing medical masks, not even anything they made, were wearing surgical masks and were forced to leave the store by the police because the managers were threatened. Were these men doing anything? No, these men were making a legit purchase. Were legit buying things. But the fact that they are 3 black men wearing masks, that is perceived as an automatic threat. So when I tell people, yo, if you don't catch me in these streets just with a mask, you should understand the fuck why. Now, granted, if I want to go into a grocery store or something like that and I have to do shopping, I'll put it on in that case. But also, I'm still really pretentious and nervous at that moment too. Because somebody may just think, oh shit, this big black dude got a mask on. What the fuck is he gonna do? There's also people who have said, well, try to make yourself look as non-threatening as possible. That's not possible. You know why? This. It's not possible. I'm automatically going to be perceived as threatening. I can smile as much as I want. I can wear cartoon shirts as much as I want. I can be as jovial, as happy as I want. But it will not change a person's already preconceived perception of me. It won't. It won't. I'm scared every day. And that is not just me saying that. There isn't a moment that goes by that I'm not terrified. I can't tell you the number of times I've been in a car that's been pulled over. And I pray that this is not the last time I'm here. I pray that my children don't lose their dad, because I know it can possibly be that. Until you know that fear of your life in your life, till you know what it is like to know that your life is in the palm of somebody else's hands, and more than likely not due to any actions of your own, you can't tell me I shouldn't be afraid. You can't tell me I can be okay with it. You can't tell me that. Yeah, I've heard stories from numerous white people, Latinx, Asian people saying, yeah, they've been pulled over by the police and they were nervous. Of course. 9 times out of 10, most people are nervous. I get it. But I'm pretty sure, I think I can safely guess that your nervousness wasn't for the fact that this might be the last time you're alive. These might be your last moments on earth. I don't think people get it. Then, not even just the police in themselves, because that's one entity. Like I said earlier, the Amy Coopers of the world. The dude just today, matter of fact, 3 men in a downtown Minnesota workspace, they were using the private gym in the building, which in order to access the gym, you have to have a key card, and a white dude questions them, oh, what are you doing here? Where do you work at? Oh, I'm calling the police because of your insecurities. And then people will comment, well, why didn't they just answer him to stop all that? I don't have to fucking answer you. I don't owe you shit. You questioning me, I don't know who you are. And I also use that I don't know what you're going to do with my information. So if you randomly question me, oh, do you belong here? Do you fucking belong here? Oh, I'm going to call the police. Go ahead and do what the fuck you want to do. But then this is what happens. When those people have been caught on video being those assholes, and they call the police and nothing happens, and which they should be arrested for making a false police call and filing a false, well, they don't directly file a complaint, but just wasting time. Their information is blasted, and then they want to deliver this sad ass apology with the, I didn't know my actions would cause this much harm, and I wasn't thinking, I'm so sorry, my life is ruined. Fuck your life. Fuck your life. Fuck your feelings. Tired of it. Every other day, it's a new white person calling the police on a black person just because they feel like they fucking can. And now we've seen recently. We know what it is, even though they won't admit it, because they know it's not just getting them arrested; it's getting them killed. People can sit there and watch this and say that's not the case. But again, that Amy Cooper shit ain't the first time. There was another chick, I forgot what the fucking city was. 3 black men were coming downstairs in an Airbnb they rented. And she's in the lobby. Do you all belong here? I'm calling the police because I don't think you belong here and I'm scared. Bitch, it's not your concern why I'm here if I'm coming from upstairs with the key in my hand. And then when they call the police, they want to call in this frantic white woman voice that shows a dire sense of urgency because they know what's happening. They know police are coming in, guns blazing, because for some reason, the moment you hear there's a black man that's scaring me, it's an immediate threat to everybody. But there have been times that have been calls of there's a white man with a sword, there's a white man with a gun, there's a white man tossing shit, and the police like, hey, buddy, let's talk. But people think it's not about race. I don't think motherfuckers get it. People want to say it's not race. People want to say, Jay, you're just exaggerating. People, Jay, you just bringing out some shit that ain't the truth. Or the numerous black men and women murdered in their own homes because it was assumed that they were breaking in. Yeah, Breonna Taylor. the woman that was just killed in her home, when the police went in for a wrong suspect, an accomplice or whatever, when they had the person they were looking for already, and then they wanted to charge her boyfriend for shooting because he heard somebody breaking their crib without identifying. I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, he had every right to let off shots. Luckily, thanks to the outcry, they dropped all the charges against him. But you know what? It doesn't change the fact that she was murdered in her own home. I can't remember the woman's name in Georgia that was killed while playing the game with her nephew. We aren't safe on the streets. We aren't safe in our own home. We are literally being hunted. I have said this numerous times. It is open season on niggas. It has been open season on us. And guess what? There doesn't seem to be a closing date. Police are getting away with murdering us. And because they're under the protection of the shield, it's okay. Fuck no. Tired of it. And then also, you wonder why the suicide rate is high. Because, well, I'd rather take my own life than have someone else take it. I'd rather be in control of my own destiny, per se. And I'm not saying me. So I don't want anybody thinking I'm saying that I'm taking my life throughout this. I don't want anybody thinking that. I'm using that as an example. Can you imagine the stress, though? The pressure? And I know a lot of people who are not black. Because I'm not even going to go non-people of color, because this is about black people. Atiana Jefferson. Yes, that was her name. And it was in Dallas. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I couldn't remember her name at the moment. I appreciate it so much. And when I say black, because I don't use the people of color thing, because this ain't just people of color. Because, yeah, call a spade a spade. I live in LA, where a lot of Mexican people are hella racist to black people. Hella racist. I've seen a lot of Asian people be racist towards us. Now, I know people will say, well, Jay, black people can be racist too. Let me educate you on something in case you didn't know. Black people cannot be racist. They can be prejudiced. Why? Because racism indicates you have a level of power. Black people do not, no matter what position we hold. I know people will go, well, Jay, Barack Obama was the president. And look how that man was treated throughout his entire time. He's been out of office for 3 years, and his name is still being besmirched. Oprah Winfrey was profiled in a Barney's, and she is the most widely popular black woman in the world. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Racism, we don't have that power. We don't have that power. I don't care what our bank accounts say. I don't care who we align ourselves with. We will never have that power. Never. We can be prejudiced. We can dislike a race, a person because of their race. We can dislike somebody because of that. Not saying that it's right. We can never be racist. We never had the power. And you say, and those people are like, well, Jay, are you saying that some Mexicans have power? This is your state. California, for instance, this is basically your country, especially the southwestern part of it. You dominate that. And a lot of Mexicans I've seen, just like black people, just like Asians, will side with white people who are the oppressors as opposed to their own race. So now what? I know the Big Mike thing, not Big Mike, excuse me, Killer Mike thing was black people need to start. You know what? Go ahead, take advantage of it. The Second Amendment, since we want to, since they want to use it, we utilize it ourselves. And then you have the catch-22 behind it. Yes, let's say black men and women call to arms and go get legally registered firearms. Yes. But guess what happens? A Philando Castile moment. A man who is a legal owner of a firearm. A legal owner of a firearm, and was shot down by a cop. He was showing the cop his FOID card. Again, catch-22. Catch-22. So not only am I hurt, but again, I'm angry. So if I'm on edge of shit, and if something kind of, for lack of better words, triggers me, if I seem like I'm just lashing out, you know why. I don't think there should be any question why, for at this rate, any black man or woman is he's just angry and on edge about shit. And please don't think it's no reason, no cause. Because for the fact of the matter, there's constant cause. There's constant reasons. It's nonstop. I had to come on here. I had to vent. I had to say what was on my mind and my heart because I couldn't I couldn't just keep this in. I have to be I have to try to be better than my counterparts. And even that sometimes is not enough. So when you hear me or Winston saying, yo, if you want to donate, help out, it means a lot. But I'm telling you what else it means. It's showing that people believe what we can do. Now, is it hard to believe in yourself? A lot of times it is. And it's hard to believe in yourself when you don't know if you really have a future. It's hard to believe in yourself when you really don't know if all this work and all this, the blood, sweat, and tears you put into something will again be taken away by somebody who was already built up in their minds a thought about you, of how you live, who you are as a person, solely based on the color of your skin. I don't know any other race in this entire country. I don't know any other skin color in this entire country that goes to that. I don't. I watched an episode of Insecure. I caught up on Insecure last night, and if you haven't watched it, it's a very damn good show on HBO. It's very well written. And Molly goes on a vacation with her Asian boyfriend, his brother, and his wife to Puerto Vallarta. And at one point, they're in the pool, and Molly says she needs a towel. So she goes to go get a towel. And there are two, you see the employee behind the desk who hands out the towels. There are two white people in front of her, and she just gives them towels and goes. Molly walks up, and the employee all of a sudden is like, "You got your key card?" Molly's like, "No." She's like, "I'm staying here." She's like, "Well, I can't do anything with your key card." Molly's like, "What are you talking about? You just gave those two white people towels without asking for anything." And the lady goes, "Well, I don't know what you're insinuating." No, you know exactly what it is. And then luckily, her boyfriend's brother has his key card and says she's with him, and so then she gives her the towel. And then she comes back to the pool and she's upset, and they ask, "What's wrong? What happened?" And she just said, "Typical bullshit." The way that statement comes out is so powerful for one reason and one reason alone. Do you not get how much it happens every day that we're like, this is just another thing? This is just adding on. It's just adds on. Let me see, hold on. Side note, any news on Winston's car? So if you um if you didn't watch Blurs in the Hood yesterday, Winston's car broke down right before we started airing, and he took him to a shop. I haven't heard anything from him today yet. I know they were supposed to do a diagnostic test on it, whatever. So I'm going to call him in a few. I know he'd been dealing with some stuff, so I'm going to call him in a few to check in, and I probably will update y'all whether it be here or he'll do it himself. So uh, that's the thing. The words, yeah, Team Sharp. The word typical bullshit is the thing because we go through it so much. I was sitting here, and I was sitting in my room, and I was trying to, like I said, I've been arguing with the white person who I thought was my friend, who I realized was that tone deaf, and 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 exemplified that level of privilege that he was like he didn't want to listen to multiple, not two, not three, sorry, numerous black people by saying you can't factor race into this. I had that, and then I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna get off Facebook. I'm gonna start to try to write and rework on the script, and I couldn't. My brain, I couldn't get the words out to re-edit the script, and then I was like, yo, I just need to vent, and I didn't know any better place to vent than my page. And I know it's not what a lot of people come for. I know people come for reviews, people come for commentary, people come from the Mad Titan podcast and all that stuff. And I get it and I appreciate it. But I couldn't be that dude today. I couldn't be the resident supervillain. I couldn't be the Mad Titan. I couldn't be the urban gladiator. I had to be just a black man who is tired of all this typical bullshit. This day in, day out, nonstop bullshit. I appreciate y'all. I do. For those who show love consistently, whether it be in the comments, whether it be through the Patreon, whether it be through Cash App, Super Chat, whatever, I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. Thank you for allowing me to be open and candid. Thank you for listening, for hearing, for not being, well, you're wrong because of this, and that doesn't happen. Thank you. I know a lot of you all have said in the comments, and I've seen them, and I haven't put them all up here on the screen, that you all don't understand what it goes through, and you never will because of your complexion. And to say that and acknowledge that speaks volumes. I just want you to know that. I'm not giving you a pass to the cookout, but it speaks volumes, because I think that's where it starts. And also, you know, when people just, I always hear only Republicans are racist. But I'm in Los Angeles, supposedly the biggest liberal bubble in the world. And I've seen more racism from liberals here than I can count. I've seen people who I'm like, oh, so you're about all people. You're about, you know, equality when it's opposed. But in all actuality, you choose not to hang around, especially any black people. And I wonder why. Because there are levels of black people you can be around. Doesn't all have to be the same type. And I understand a lot of people aren't friends with everybody, but when you say you're open to all this, I just think you should have a multitude of friends. Everybody's not. And you should never know exactly how many. Like if I tell you my white friends, I can't tell you how many. I cannot honestly tell you how many white friends I have. Why? Because I've been a pro wrestler for 20 years. I've been a stand-up comic for 11. Guess what I met a lot of? White people. How many have I met? Too fucking many. I've been at the barbecues. I've hung out with them. We've argued. We've talked about shit like this. We've had those discussions. We've blown up over them and gotten back as friends again. But again, to those who are willing to listen, who are willing to learn, I appreciate you. Like I said, I get it, man. Supposedly liberals and all that are supposed to be the best. We go back to like I was saying earlier. Out here, I've met so many racist comics especially, and the ones who always saying they liberal with shit. Yeah, you liberal with wanting to use the word nigger. You liberal in your racism and think it's a joke. So many. Somebody asked, how would you compare Chicago to LA on the racism scale? LA's bigger. Why? Chicago lets you know it. If they don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. There's no secret behind it. You don't have to find out behind your back. You don't have to find out like, yo, that's how you really feel. You know it. Like, all right, they don't fuck with niggas over here. They don't fuck with Hispanics over here. They don't fuck with Asians over here. You know it. You know it. LA, it's shrouded. It's under that, oh, we're all together in this and kumbaya and kombucha. And it's not the case. It's not the case at all. I've seen it a lot. Same ones. Comics and other people who I love seeing this one. They're so liberal and they're so open and they're so acceptive. And then they're like, oh man, I hate going to my families for the holidays because I have my racist father and my racist mother. And I really hate how they are. And I hate what they are as people. But then you see the pictures and they're just lovey dovey. And it's just like, and then the captions are always, man, I love this time with my family. But wait a minute. Are you doing anything to change their views? To change who they are? Are you saying anything that's of that will strike a nerve that will maybe make them consider? Hmm? I wonder. Not the case. I've been venting for about an hour. Did not expect to be venting this long. I did not at all. And thank you to everyone. I do again. I honestly, I thank you. I thank you for allowing me to speak my truth on the situation. And I'm sorry, not just my truth, the truth. The truth of the matter is racism is, was, and clearly forever will be a thing in this country. This is probably some of the realest shit I can see. They say we're all in this together, but they're not spreading awareness or caring about what's going on or caring. That is the fucking truth. I even brought it up when people started saying that we're all in this together shit. The shit I said earlier with the mask. No, we're not. We're not all in this together. Absolutely not. Wish that wasn't the case. I really do. But unfortunately, we run in different races. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm grateful for y'all. You see it down at Twitter and Instagram. All of the good shit. Thank y'all. Y'all mean the world to your boy. Holla at you later. I'm out. Bye. Oh, that didn't work. That worked.